Whoa.
But I really had to, take a number 2. That was part of it, actually. I realized I love heights. Multiple partners at one time, I should specify. Man, I thought this thing was going to blow up on me. I jumped out of the car.
All right, welcome to the Go Beyond podcast. I'm your host, Gavin. Today we have an interesting one for you. Our first episode with a guest. Hooray. How you doing, Luke?
I'm doing pretty good. Spent the last week pretty sick. Feeling a lot better now.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. So, let's talk a little bit, about life. How's life been recently? What have you been up to?
It depends how deep you want to start this. Recently, a lot's been changing in my life. Went from work to school.
Right.
Got a big trip planned soon. And inside, kind of just been really thinking about what I want to do with the rest of my life. Where I want to take things. How I set that up. Where I want to go.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're just going to get Luke a brief little intro here. So, today's guest is a third-year apprentice heavy-duty mechanic who is currently doing his 2 months of classwork at Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. He's a dear friend of mine who I get to go to Europe with, as he just said, in the spring. Our guest likes to ride bikes, be outside, and have a good time. This episode of Go Beyond, welcome Mr. Luke Burak.
Thank you very much for having me, Gavin.
All right. So, like you were just saying, you're trying to figure out where you want to go, but I want to start the show off by talking about how you got there.
Okay.
So, tell us, where'd you grow up?
Born and raised in Edmonton. I spent my whole life in one house. Nice, small neighborhood filled with mainly old people. I was the only young person on my block, me and my sister. Stayed there my whole life. Grew up in local schools, local sports teams. Never really traveling too much out of the country other than every couple of years my parents would give me a nice big vacation we'd go on together.
Yeah? Where was your first big vacation at?
The first one, that was California.
California?
That was a treat. We got to go to Disneyland.
Nice.
I'm sure every young 7-year-old out there was real happy getting to go there.
Who wouldn't? I'd be excited to go right now.
Yeah, no, me too. It was a lot of fun. I got to go there. I think it was a 2-week vacation. Went in the winter time here, so that was fantastic getting away from the cold weather.
Nobody likes the cold weather, that's for sure.
Yeah. Some interesting stuff happened there. I made some choice decisions that, a more mature me wouldn't have made, but...
Yeah, like, what are we talking?
Oh, well, we're diving deep into the embarrassing stuff, but I'll never forget this as long as I live. We were at the hotel. I was swimming in the pool. It was just me and my family there. And, I loved being in the pool so much. I did not want to get out of the pool. But I really had to, take a number 2.
Oh.
I had to let one go. And I don't know, me being me, I wasn't thinking things through. And thought that I could get away with just, backing up to the side of the pool wall, letting one slip out of the side of the shorts. And the whole, the action of it was slick. No one knew a thing. It wasn't until my sister swam by and pointed it out to my dad that it became an issue. And then...
Sorry, you said you were the only one in that pool?
Me and my sister. She was on the other end, though, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Contamination wouldn't reach her. But yeah, I feigned ignorance at first.
Of course.
And I'm
you
not
have to, right?
Not sure how the truth got revealed, but my dad, he must have known it was me. He fished it out of the pool with the pool net, threw it into the bushes. I had to go up to the hotel staff and apologize. He took me there face to face. Part of the process of becoming a man, I guess.
That's a good one. That reminds me of the Grown Ups scene where
exactly.
I forget his name, but
making a sissy in the pool.
making a sissy in the pool, and he just lays on his stomach and makes a sissy.
At least there was no blue dye in this one. Yeah.
Oh, good old hotel pool in California.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think I've ever. I mean, I've peed. Who hasn't peed in a pool?
I've done it plenty of times.
Yeah.
I still do it. I'm 21.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
21, eh? We're growing up.
Yep. It's going by too fast.
Yeah. Oh man, that's actually kind of scary.
Yeah.
To think about. Well, what did you want to be when you were younger? Like, what was your like? What kind of things were you into?
I mean, always sports, right? I love sports. Obviously, being a professional athlete, that's the dream of any young kid in any sport. Quickly realized that was not attainable. I was not at that skill level. Props to anyone who has the work ethic or the drive to make that happen. I did not. Other than that, we grew up in the time where YouTube was so huge. And, me personally, at least, I grew up, I'd go home and watch YouTube videos all the time.
Yeah.
Specifically the gaming videos.
Yeah, you're a gaming kind of guy, eh?
That was the dream at the age of around 7 years old. I really wanted to be a YouTuber. GTA 5 videos, anything to do with gaming.
I did watch a fair amount of GTA 5 videos.
Yeah, that was the thing back then.
Yeah. My favorite personally was Roman Atwood. He was my idol.
That was
growing
good.
up.
Yeah, those were funny videos.
I remember I came home and watched him every day.
Yeah.
When he was doing his daily uploads. That was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
Race home to watch him.
Yeah, YouTube is huge, so I guess unrealistically, I wanted to be a YouTuber when I was younger. I didn't have any dreams of being a firefighter or a doctor. Growing up later, my dad was an engineer, and I was good at math. I was decent in school when I applied myself, so he had high hopes of me going to university and being an engineer. And I went along with that for a long time, thinking it was just a good plan, decent money, educated.
Right.
So that was the path I took up until around high school, when it actually came time to decide. That's what I thought I was going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what switched? What'd you think of? What happened?
I mean, maybe it was partially due to the people I was hanging out with at the time, or any other sort of implications in life, but I started moving away from wanting to be in school.
Right. Well, I mean,
was never a big fan of sitting in a classroom reading books.
Yeah.
I like reading, but sitting in a classroom, being forced to do something I don't necessarily want to do.
Mhm.
And at the same time, I needed a job, so I got pushed a little bit into the trades. I started out glazing, which is
what's glazing?
So installing glass, anything from...
So like the big high rises? Or like...
It depends on the specialty you're in, or the specific company you're with. You could do either, but they do anywhere from residential, putting in just a window in someone's house, to, big glass doors in commercial buildings and shops, or the outside of high rises, putting in 8-foot sheets of glass that weigh 500 pounds.
That must have been fun.
Oh, I loved it. That was part of it, actually. I realized I love heights. I love being at heights. We got to go on those elevator things. I don't even know what they're called anymore, but on the side of a building, you're 20 stories up. I like it. A lot of people are scared of heights, but I thought it was exhilarating. I loved it.
I mean, I can't say that I would love it, but I think it'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
So, like, you were doing the big high rises then?
Yeah, not all the time. We worked a lot on schools, high schools when we were in the city.
Okay.
So just 2 stories up, really. But I had the experience to go work on the judicial building in Red Deer. And 20, I think, stories up, we were putting in glass, and it was really fun. I loved it.
Okay.
I had a great time doing that.
So you were in high school when that happened?
That was right out of high school.
Okay.
In high school, I was a cart boy. I worked at Walmart for 2 years just to, pay for the car, pay for gas, any other little things I wanted.
And the girlfriends, all
the
girls.
those were expensive back then. Wasted a lot of money on that. Well, not wasted. Everything's worthwhile for experience.
Yeah. You said you had a sister.
I do. Yep.
Tell me, were you close with her? What's the deal?
When I was younger, we were a lot closer for sure.
Swimming in the swimming pool.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of swimming pool memories. Yeah, she was my older sister, so she found the responsibility to take care of me a lot. She did a pretty good job doing that growing up. We had plenty of arguments. They would turn physical a lot of the time at a very young age. I learned to, avoid that later on once I grew bigger than her.
Bigger, not smarter.
Yeah, yeah. I can't take that role. She's a nurse, so. Yeah, but a lot of small arguments, anything siblings would go through, I think. And
Yeah. I mean,
as we grew up, had different views on society. And now we don't talk nearly as much as we used to. She's also moved on with her life. She's got a boyfriend she's living with now, making good strides. I hope she does well. And yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, I still argue with my siblings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, me too.
And sometimes they do get heated. That's for sure. My sister loves to argue.
Absolutely. Which sister doesn't?
What about your parents? Are you still close with your parents?
So in grade 12 of high school there, my parents split up. Before that, I feel like as close as the average child-parent relationship, it wasn't anything crazy. I wouldn't go to them for every little thing in my life, but I could always count on them to be there when I needed them.
Right.
After they split up, I chose to move in with my mom, just because my dad tended to judge me a little heavier than my mother did. I had a little bit more free will.
Yeah. With your mom?
Yeah, a little bit more clearance to do what I wanted, and so I chose to move in with her. And for the past 3 years, it's been me, her, and my sister until sister moved out about 2 years ago. Talked to my dad not nearly as much as I should. I let my life take over more than connecting with my parents. But I'll try to hopefully change that in the future.
So what about your grandparents? Are they
Oh well,
still around? Do you hang out with them? Do you talk to them?
yeah. On my dad's side, he's Ukrainian, so she's Baba. She's the
Baba.
glue that holds the family together. Yeah, Christmas dinners, Easter's, birthdays, she's been there for all of them. She's babysat, she's made meals, taken care of us since we were young. She's always been there. She's been a
Right.
huge part of everyone's lives. So pretty close with her, but again, I don't go to see her nearly as much as I should. And then on the mom's side, both her parents live in a different province. They're ways away. So I usually only got to see them once every couple of years when we'd go down to visit.
Right.
And they hear about my life over the phone when my mom talks to them. And other than that, I don't have much contact.
Yeah. I mean, the same for me. All my family's in Newfoundland.
Oh, yeah.
There's nobody around, so I definitely don't talk to them enough.
Yeah. It's tough to stay connected when you're that far away.
Yeah, it really is. I think I can count on one hand how many times I've been back
Yeah.
over my whole life, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
What were the who were the biggest influences on you growing up? Was it your parents? Was it the gamers on YouTube? Was it your sister?
That's tough to say. Growing up when I was very young, early days, I didn't care what anyone else wanted to do. I was very independent. If I wanted to do something, I'd go out and do that regardless of who wanted to join me.
Or who said no?
That too.
Right.
And for better or worse. And once I got into junior high, I think was the turning point. I really started prioritizing friendships and what they wanted to do. I'd learned to,
Right.
whether or not I wanted to actually do that, I just wanted to be around my friends. So
Yeah.
I'd prioritize their enjoyment over my own, and I let a
Right.
lot of people's opinions of me change who I was, again, for better or worse.
Right.
Uh, as for outside influence, I'm not sure if I really had any uh, inspirations or idols, really.
That's fair.
I kind of just grew up. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've seen plenty of people on YouTube. I'd love to, replicate their lives one day, but
I mean, you said earlier that you wanted to be an engineer until high school.
yeah,
So,
that change, again, I think that just me and my dad had, plenty of arguments, plenty of disagreements, and
right.
I just didn't feel like the path he wanted me to go down was the right one for me.
Yeah. That's totally fair. So, YouTube wasn't the biggest influence. Your sister wasn't. I mean, she did the right thing by saying there was stuff in the pool, but
That's very true, yeah.
um, so everybody kind of influenced you that you.
I'd say, yeah,
Yeah.
I took a little bit from everyone. There wasn't any major factor from any one person. I took little bits here and there from each
Right.
person I met along the way.
Yeah.
Every experience I had developed me into who I am today.
It's totally fair. So then, what was high school like for you? Like, who were you in high school? Let's dive a bit more into the high school.
Oh, so high school was a real interesting time for us. I mean, prime COVID, so going into grade 10, everything was pretty shut down. Half of it was online.
Right.
So I kind of sank into my shell a bit. I was never a very outgoing person. I've always been pretty shy. So even when school started, I relied on, team sports and stuff like that to make my friends, and none of that was available. So
Right.
I'd go to school, I'd stay on my own. Even I had plenty of opportunities. People would invite me out to go hang out with new people, meet new people. I don't know why. I regret it, but I chose not to. I would eat lunches on my own. I'd go to school,
Right.
go home right after, and then go to work.
Yeah.
That was my life for the first couple of years, and then
And then what changed?
I mean later on, once everything opened up after COVID, like I said, those team sports started happening again. I played volleyball in high school, met a lot of good people, and also mixed in with a group of not so responsible people. High school, it's a time for exploration, and
You definitely explored.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I ended up grouping up with certain people I knew from junior high, previous friends, and they brought me into their group, who was full of a lot of people, doing questionable things. Uh, yeah, not sure that was the right path to go down, but I mean, I made some friends along the way. It taught me certain lessons, and luckily enough, from volleyball, I made one good friend, and he's kind of connected me to all my other friends as of today.
Yeah.
That's who I came out of high school with, people I never would have expected.
Yeah. He certainly is a gem at that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's probably the most connected person I know.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, he knows everyone somewhere.
Yeah. He doesn't go anywhere where he doesn't know somebody or
Yeah.
somebody doesn't know him. He should run for mayor.
He should.
He
May not be the smartest mayor, but he'd be well connected.
yes. I'm not sure I could. We could help him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would help him out.
He'd have good advisors. He'd be the face of the company, kind
Yeah.
of sorts.
Yeah. He's like a puppet.
Yeah,
We just
that's what he'd be.
yes. So high school was pretty mundane until you got in with this other group. Then
Yeah, pretty much. At first, I was a great student. I'd do my schoolwork. I'd go home, work, study, get good grades.
right.
And then the group I got close with, they were skipping school a lot, doing drugs at school. I wasn't a part of that. I held out for a while, but I skipped a lot. I'd miss class. And I mean, it gave me a bunch of adventures.
Yeah.
There were plenty of times where they'd, group up together. We'd be hanging out until 2 a.m. on a Wednesday, and one guy would just suggest we drive to Jasper.
At 2 a.m. on a Wednesday.
2 a.m. on a Wednesday. We'd
Wow.
drive out to Jasper. I'd have to send a little email to my teacher saying, hey, sorry, not going to make it to class that morning. Fantastic teacher, by the way. I loved her. She was amazing. But yeah, no, great experiences. I had good times. Don't regret them, but definitely wouldn't want to continue down that path.
For sure. So you just mentioned you had a great teacher.
Yeah.
Were there any teachers who had a big impact or left their imprint on you?
Oh, now that you mention it, yeah, in elementary, it was probably the biggest one. I remember that.
Yeah.
I was a troublemaker. I was well known in the office. I would be sent down for getting in trouble all the time, almost every day. They knew me by name. They knew my mom's phone number by heart. And yeah, I was there almost every day. Big troublemaker. And then I had a teacher in grade 4 who very strict. My mother especially thought I would have hated him, but he I don't know what it is. He changed the way I thought about things. He saw my potential. He knew I
Right.
was a good student, or I could have been a good student. And he did reprimand me a lot. But it taught me. I realized that I could be a good student if I applied myself.
Yeah.
And he nurtured those qualities a lot. They probably wouldn't have came out nearly as much if it weren't for him. So he had a big impact on my life. And yeah, other than that, junior high, nothing major. I kind of cruised through junior high. No major changes there.
Yeah.
And then high school, that great teacher I was talking about, she just super kind. Again, while I was mixed in with that bad group, I made some poor decisions at school. A little bit of casual vandalizing, minor stuff. Was on the brink of expulsion going into my second semester of school.
Were you really?
I was, yeah. It was, that vandalizing was, the topics were not
okay.
Not light.
Yeah.
So I made some poor decisions there, but all the teachers at school, they hated me after that. They thought I was
And that was grade 12 year?
yeah, grade 12, right before graduation.
You were so close.
I know. No expulsions, no suspensions up until that day.
Ooh, you got a suspension of that one.
I got suspended.
What was the suspension like?
Honestly, not bad. It was right after our final exams for the semester. They pulled me out after I finished mine. I was gonna head home. Thought I finished early. I was feeling good. Had a ski trip, big ski trip planned for the week after with the school.
Ooh.
Thought I got away with it, and
Right.
yeah, they pulled me into the office, told me that they knew it was me, asked me to give up my friend who I was, doing those things with. And said that it was an offense that could warrant expulsion and possibly police intervention.
Ooh.
And luckily, I was a good student up until that point, so they chose to see my good side and let me off relatively easy.
Nice.
I just had out of school suspension pretty much during our exam break, so I didn't miss any school, but it was more on paper, I assume.
They had to do their due diligence.
Yeah. But I got let off pretty easy for that one.
Yeah. It sounds like it. Which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it taught me a lesson. I didn't do that again.
I'm sure you didn't. Were you into any girls in high school? What was that like? What was the women's scene like for you?
Well, any young boy, pumping with testosterone at the time, prime puberty, right? obviously wanted a girlfriend, but like I said, I was pretty shy. So I didn't have much experience with that until, oddly enough, online came across this gorgeous looking girl, and I decided to shoot her a message. And at the time, way out of my league for sure. But
What girl isn't out of any guy's
right,
league?
yeah. But somehow she sent a message back. We started talking for a while. Uh, I still didn't have a license, so honestly, the biggest issue was actually going to see this girl.
Right.
We just texted, called, FaceTimed every day, all the time. Um, Honestly, got pretty close with her over that month before I was able to drive my car legally, and yeah, that was great. I ended up dating her for about 9 months, filled with ups and downs, obviously. Any new relationship or first relationship, both of us were learning. And yeah, a lot of firsts with her. I had great times.
Yeah.
We got to go on a lot of camping trips together. We both love the outdoors. Um, I got to be a part of her volleyball team when she was in club volleyball. So her team loved me. I got to participate in practices, help them out. I showed up at all their tournaments and games.
Right.
So I was a big part of that team. I like to think.
I
I
you're
didn't
the
have.
reason they won.
Oh yeah. Well, they didn't win.
Oh,
Not a great team.
so you weren't a great coach.
Oh, I wasn't coaching. It's
Oh.
not my fault. I was just there for moral support.
Right.
But yeah, great time being a part of that. It was a pleasure, and yeah, that was good. I love volleyball, so just getting to be a part of it, even though I wasn't playing, I loved it. And after that happened, yes, summertime came around. A lot of camping trips, a lot of road trips. Uh, Learned a lot dating that girl. She had some, past experiences with relationships where she wasn't treated the best, and I ended up taking a lot of the brunt of those uh, tendencies that she built up from those. But it taught me, I learned from it.
Right.
Um, and overall, I mean, I believe I'm a better person for it.
Right.
I think she's still a great girl. It didn't work out between the two of us for good reason, but I wish her the best. Recently, even we started talking again for a little bit. I tried to rekindle things after a couple of years, hoping that both of us had matured and changed in the right ways.
Right.
Both of us had definitely changed. Maybe in the right ways for her, maybe in the right ways for me, but not in the ways that made us right for each other.
Yeah.
So we both mutually decided that wasn't a good call.
Yeah.
And yeah, happy I had the opportunity to revisit that and catch up with her, but not the lady I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with.
So what's the dating scene like now then? What's
Oh,
are we into it? Are we out of it?
I've been out of it for a while. Not pursuing any girls. I don't know. I've never been the type to constantly go chase and tail. I'm happy with my life. I
Yeah.
like hanging out with my friends. I prioritize them over everything. Not everything, but I'll take a night hanging out with my boys any day of the week before I go on a date with a girl.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's fair.
and I have fun doing that. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to have a girlfriend at some point here, but I'm starting to get a little lonely.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but
How long's it been?
oh, well, that one girl was honestly the only one I really had a relationship with.
Well, how long has it been since you've been on a date?
On a date, oh, well, I went on one about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago here. That was a rough experience. I mean, it was fun, but
Why is it rough?
Different personalities, you
Okay.
know.
Same kind of thing with the other one as the other one, you know, different
Similar
personalities.
in a broad way,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, different individual issues, but I wasn't a big fan of the multiple partners before finding the one you want to settle down with. Multiple partners at one time, I
Oh.
should specify.
Oh yes, no.
It wasn't
Little
exactly my thing.
a little infidelity never
Yeah.
never benefits nobody.
No, that wasn't for me. So that happened to be a heavy topic on the date. You know, just smile and wave, as the Penguins would say, I guess. You know, I just smile and nodded throughout the date. Tried to
Yes.
make it an enjoyable experience, but yeah, it ended with her saying she didn't want to talk to me again, and
Oh.
I felt the same way.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it was mutual.
Yep. Yeah. No one's feelings were hurt, I don't think.
That's good. Um, and that's like the most recent, just a few weeks ago. Is there anything before that?
Before that, that was the rekindling experience with the ex.
And that was a few months, a
Oh,
year. How long was that
so
before?
that was about half a month, 2 weeks before
Okay.
the date. Yeah, same thing. I think I sent her a message one drunk night, and not expecting much in return, she replied and said that she had been thinking about me too, and hit it off from there. Started talking again, went on a couple of dates,
Right.
hung out. It looked promising,
And
and then New Year's Eve came around, and we had plans for her to come with me and hang out with some friends at the guy's house. He was having a little party, a little get together.
right.
And then 2 hours before she was meant to come over, she canceled on me and said that she was going out to the bars with her friends, who were all
Ooh.
guys. But yeah, that wasn't ideal for me.
Yeah. I mean, canceling on 2 hours is not a good look on anybody.
Yeah, the short notice right before New Year's. I don't know. I think someone you're looking to make a partner and hopefully spend the rest of your life with, you'd want to spend New Year's Eve with them.
Yeah. Have you ever had a New Year's Eve kiss?
I honestly haven't.
I'm in the same boat.
21 years, I have not had the experience of a New Year's
I-
Eve kiss.
I'm 20 years, but I'll be 21 before the New Year.
Pretty
So
soon here, yeah.
I can't say that I have either.
Yeah, it's okay though, you know.
you know.
It's not necessary, and one
No.
day it'll be the right one when I get it.
Yeah. So you mentioned volleyball. I haven't heard you mention any other sports. Was there any?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, growing up, I loved anything physical, anything active. My parents stuck me in hockey. Well, soccer, I guess, was the first one. I was in a little Timbits league,
Right.
which I think was, I don't even, five and up.
Yeah.
So I loved soccer. I was huge into that for a little while, and my parents had me in hockey at an early age. Any Canadian young guy, I think, if you're active, your parents are going to put you in hockey.
Yeah.
So I had a great time doing that. I like to think I was decent.
Were you,
And
were you playing double A, triple A, or anything
Oh.
like that, or was it just house league?
not quite that level, you know. Early on, I think I started when I was 6 years old and spent those years playing tier one. So
Right.
for my age group, I was doing okay.
Yeah.
But once we got to the level where it started becoming club, double A, triple A, it took a lot more work than I wanted to put in.
Put in.
All the guys were doing full year-round training, and
Yeah.
you know, seemed like they were dedicating their lives to the sport, and I liked it, but I didn't like it that much.
That's totally
So,
fair.
I moved on to club soccer. Went back to soccer. Enjoyed that for a long time.
How many years did you play soccer?
After the hockey, I played for, I think, 3 years. I did indoor and outdoor soccer. Being up here in Canada, unfortunately, you can't play outside all year round.
Was it? Did you play in high school at all, or?
Did not play in high school. No, once I finished soccer after about 3 years of that, same thing. Our club had some issues, some arguments between management and the club and our coach at the
Right.
time. The team dissolved after that. Everyone went their own way. And I played community a little bit just for the fun of it to keep playing the sport. And I realized that as much as I love just the fun of the sport, I also like competitiveness. And that level just wasn't giving me what I was
Right.
looking for out of it.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
you got to dedicate. I mean, the folks who dedicate their whole year and life to one sport are, in my opinion, a little bit crazy.
yeah.
I think to be a good athlete, you gotta play multiple sports.
Yeah, polyathlete, you got to be broad.
You gotta be multidisciplinary.
Yeah, so after soccer, I mean, that was around the time when I went into junior high. And team sports became a thing with the school. And volleyball was the first one to come up. Honestly, I had no interest in it at first.
Right.
But luckily enough, I had a friend who convinced me to go to the tryouts. And I had no idea how to play. I was bouncing a ball off my head pretty much. But somehow I made the team. And I developed a passion for it after that. I love volleyball. Similar thing. I like to think I'm a relatively athletic person, and I picked it up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Other people on my team not so much. So I became captain, and I got in trouble a couple of times. I guess for low level school sports, they don't appreciate you yelling at other teammates for making mistakes, and so I dealt with that and still had a great time. It was a lot of fun. And then COVID happened. Went into high school. We ended up missing the first year of volleyball due to COVID, but grade 11 and 12, I was lucky to be part of that team as well, and
Right.
a lot higher level of play there that I enjoyed being a part of. And in grade 12, we were skilled enough to win our division city championship.
Oh wow.
So that was a really
There you
great
go.
experience. I'm glad we got to do that before finishing high school.
Yeah. I mean, I played volleyball in junior high, and we played triple ball for the
Triple
first
ball.
for the
That's what it
first little
was.
while,
Yeah.
which was awful.
Yep.
And there's no real way to build any skill playing that game.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then for my last year of junior high, I played actual volleyball, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I played in grade 10 volleyball, but it was all just interior school. Like we
Yeah.
had like 70 kids who could play volleyball at our school, and
Pretty much.
we just had like a little tournament. I never played on a team in high school. I wasn't lucky enough to be on a team. So yeah.
Oh, it's still fun though. I think just getting to be a part of a team in any way and
Yeah.
getting active is huge, especially for young people. So it's fun whether or not you're in the competitiveness of it and
Right.
playing in a league. But
So earlier you said high school you kind of made the switch from wanting to be an engineer like your dad
yep.
and kind of picking the trades and other things.
Yep.
What was that decision like followed by? Like what did people think when you made that decision?
Oh well, my dad was pretty disappointed. He had big dreams of me following in his footsteps and being an engineer. So for the first year, I chose not to go back to school. He was, always trying to convince me that I still had the option. I could still go to college. I wouldn't waste my life away. But after he kind of realized that I wasn't gonna take that path, he accepted it and realized that I was passionate about what I was doing, and he believes as long as I'm happy and I'm making a decent living for myself, I'm doing okay,
Right.
and he's good with that. And yeah, the way I got into the trades, at least I kind of just made the yes or no, or not yes or no, but one or zero decision, I guess, binary decision. If I'm not sitting at a desk, I got to get a job. I'm gonna be working with my hands,
Yeah.
and I like it. I think it's rewarding. Like I said earlier, I like being active, moving around. So that first trade I went into, it was just really any job I could get, anything that was more than minimum wage. I
Right.
took the job that was in front of me, and then once I had been in that for a bit, I realized the cold Edmonton winters working outside weren't for me.
Right.
Uh,
They
and
got to
I
be pretty brutal out there.
It's pretty cold, yeah. Trying to grab little screws and things with your fingers when it's -30, -35 outside. It's not fun. Numb fingers all the time. It's not great to work with.
Yes.
There's
It's
got to
not
be
fun.
someone who does it, but it's not going to be me.
Right. Um,
Uh,
so then, where'd you go from after that first trade? Being a glazer.
well, a lot of my family, they work in oil and gas, industrial stuff, so they had done pretty well for themselves. I talked to my uncle a lot who had done that, and he was telling me to get into millwrighting or pipe fitting, one of
Right.
those trades, good money and relatively stable job. So I went looking for that. Millwrighting is basically being a mechanic. You working on stationary engines,
Okay.
generators, that kind of stuff. And so I was looking to get a job in that, and I just went on online job search, and I was looking for millwright jobs, and I saw something pop up about heavy duty mechanics and
Okay.
heavy equipment technicians. And growing up at that same time in high school, I got big into cars. I love the car scene, and modding cars specifically, anything
Right.
working on them, I found really interesting.
Yes.
And so mechanic, that word kind of jumped out to me, and I just sent in an application. I had no experience with it. The most I'd done on my car was an oil change and brakes, really.
And
But
maybe cut off the exhaust or.
oh well, luckily enough, I didn't have to cut my own off.
Oh, it came pre-cut.
That's a story I guess I could dive into real quick. I was sneaking into my girlfriend's house a lot at nighttime, as any young man tries to do, and I'd park in a library parking lot, a little bit down the road away from her house, and then walk down, jump her fence, sliding through her window. And one of those days, you know, parked the car there as I do every other night, stay in her bed, and then 5 a.m. roughly before her dad wakes up for work, I sneak back out the window, go to my car, and I do that. I walk to my car. I start it up, and man, I thought this thing was gonna blow up on me. I jumped out of the car. It was so loud. I had no idea what was going on, and yeah, I had no clue what was going on, but I decided to look under the car for whatever reason, make sure there was no oil on the ground or any issues I could see, and I noticed some metal chunks and rings hanging out right under the middle of my car by my exhaust, and saw a big gap in between two pipes. And I realized that someone had stolen my catalytic converters
Oh no.
as I was parked there overnight.
No.
And so, yeah, I mean, hey, it sounded like a race car for sure. Not a good running one, but
And you probably drove it like a race car after
oh, I
that.
I did for a bit. Drove it straight to the welding shop. I got a well, they just welded a pipe on, fixed that gap, and then she sounded good as new after that. It was good.
Well, I mean, if you didn't get it fixed, you probably were gonna have to park even further away from the girlfriend's house.
Oh yeah, I remember her telling me she could hear me driving away, uh, about a kilometer away. The main road was from her house. She could hear me driving down the road as I was going by at 6 a.m. in the morning or whatever it was.
Oh man, I'm sure the neighbors loved you.
Oh, that was great. Yeah. So I got that repaired, and yeah, ever since then, really, I've wanted to know how to work on my own car, fix things, recognize if the car was going to blow up at a certain noise or if I was good to keep driving it for a bit. And now I have enough knowledge to do that.
Right. There you go.
So yeah, I applied for that job, online job search, and got a call back saying that I had an interview. And I was shocked, but I went for the interview, dressed up nice and fancy as one thinks they should do for an interview. Come to find out, in the trades, a lot of people do not do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a mechanic shop, heavy duty trucking shop. I went for the interview. I guess somehow they liked me. I convinced them, charmed them, and they hired me on.
There you go.
Started out that job with absolutely no knowledge. I was very slow on the uptake when it came to doing that, but I caught a rhythm, and once I started picking things up, a lot of it came a lot easier. Got close with the guys I was working with, and I mean, it's been history ever since then.
Yeah. So how long have you been there?
Just over 2.5 years now.
And so you're now a third year
I
apprentice. Is that right?
After my schooling, I will be considered a third year.
Okay. So you have what, 5 weeks left of school? Is that right?
Yep, 5 weeks left.
And how does school work for the trades? Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So most apprenticeships, they're not all exactly the same, but typically they're a 4-year program where you do a certain amount of work hours, normally around 1,500 work hours, which should take roughly 10 months.
Right.
And then the other 2 months out of the year, you'll go to school. And in those 2 months, you'll do exams, quickly rush through as much knowledge as you can. It's a very rushed process, packed full of information. So the schooling it can be difficult, but at the same time, if you have a rough understanding of on-the-job work, makes it a lot easier.
Right.
And yeah, you'll go to school, you'll come back and be a second year in your trade, and you'll repeat that for 4 years until you go for your 4th year of schooling. And then if you pass that, you can apply for your, at least in my trade, your red seal, which is nationally recognized that you are a kind of a master of your trade.
Right.
And that also applies to certain other countries. I know Australia and I believe New Zealand have some sort of agreement with Canada and their trades, where if I were to look for a job over there, it would be recognized as well.
Right. And so are you making like minimum wage that whole time, or like how does that work while you're working? Like do they just make you make no money? How does that work?
Luckily enough, it's not quite the same as an internship. In some ways it is. I mean, you're paid a lot less than the journeyman there, the fully educated guys. So they start you off at 60% of the journeyman's wage typically, which for me was $24 an hour.
Okay.
Which was big boost to what I was getting paid before. So I was happy to take it.
So glazing was not very...
Glazing was not very profitable.
Okay.
Profitable, no.
But being a mechanic is. Or it can be.
It can be a lot better.
Okay.
That's for sure. Yeah. And each year you go to school, you come back with more knowledge than you had before, and they hopefully give you a pay raise.
Okay.
Each time you come back from school.
And so, like, what does a journeyman make? I know you said 24 an hour was about 60% of a journeyman. So just shy of $50 an hour for a journeyman?
Standard rate there, it was, I think, $40 an hour, $42 an hour.
Okay.
For the journeyman, but that's also on the low end of my trade. At least the shop I'm at right now, they're regular $40 an hour for a journeyman.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on where you go, what type of work you're doing, how cold you're willing to be, and how dirty you're willing to get,
Right.
The trade can offer you jobs that pay $70 an hour.
Right.
They offer annual wages as well if you're doing a fly in, fly out type of job where you're working out in the bush.
Okay.
some of those guys can be getting paid $200,000 a year.
It's pretty good on the high end. That's really good.
Yeah. If you choose to run your own service truck, work on things privately, geez, I mean, those guys do very well for themselves if
Right.
they do it right, if they're good at
Right.
what they do.
And so you sound very excited by the talking about the trade and all that. But is this? Do you see yourself staying in this long term,
Yeah, I
or
mean,
where are you? Like, I mean, it's got to be hard on the body.
for sure it is. I mean, most trades are, unless you're an electrician, of course. I mean, plenty of jokes come along with working in that trade. But yeah, being a heavy duty mechanic, I mean, I'm, like I said, 21 years old. I've only been doing it for about 2.5 years, but geez, I wake up in the morning and my back hurts. My body's sore. I'm tired after work. I go home and sleep. Uh, and it's expensive. I mean, at least my trade, not most of them aren't like this, but being a mechanic, you have to pay for all your own tools. And I was not aware of how expensive tools are. Some of the guys I work with have toolboxes that are worth well over $200,000
Whoa!
in terms of tool.
Is that just the toolbox,
Oh, I wish.
or is that like all the tools? Like,
All the tools combined. As you work, obviously, it's not one lump sum that you have to deal with, but as you keep working, you find things that you know might be handy in a certain job or something that just might make your life a little easier. So you add on as you go, which is also part of the apprenticeship. They expect you to buy tools as you go. Um, but yeah, that's the biggest part, honestly. Not an initial investment, but you got to invest in your career,
right?
uh, which I respect, and I think having tools is good for any man, any person out there, really.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to work on your own stuff and having the knowledge to repair things yourself is it can save you a lot of money in the long run, just as much as you spend. Um, so I love that part about it, but like you said, it does have a huge toll on the body. I look at some of the older guys I work with, and I remember when I first started there. There was an elderly gentleman who was training me, and you know, working with him, I had the complete expectation that he was sitting right around 60 years old, waiting for retirement. Come
Right.
to find out, he is 38,
Oh,
so
wow.
very elderly looking, at not that old of an age.
No, 40 is not far away from our age.
Yeah,
We're 20 years away.
yeah. So
For you, it's 19.
yeah, so I'm imagining what that toll on my body is going to be like over the years, and it doesn't really appeal to me. I wanna be there to be active for my children and stay fit for myself, be able to travel and do
Mm-hmm.
things I enjoy. So I've been weighing the decision to look into other careers, whether that be going back to school or possibly another trade. I'm not sure yet.
Go be an electrician, like you just said.
I mean, maybe that might be the right way to go. They make pretty good money themselves. But
What would you go? What are your thoughts on like going back to college? Like what kind of interests you
um,
on that front? If
that's always been my issue. I'm not necessarily passionate about any one thing. I've never been a person where, like I said, I haven't known from the age of 8 years old that I want to be a doctor, and that's been my goal. Uh, I kind of just want to find a career that allows me to travel when I want to travel for as long as I want to travel and still
right,
make a decent wage to support a family and support the leisurely things I want to do in my free time while I'm working.
right. So, I mean, is like a 4-year degree kind of in the like possibilities of everything, or
Uh, Unfortunately, I don't see myself doing that.
okay,
Obviously, I understand that no one's life is on a a timeline. No one has a deadline that they have to meet, but I have certain expectations for how I want my life to turn out, and I don't see myself starting a 4-year degree now,
Right.
spending all that money to go do it, as well as I don't have anything I'm passionate enough to spend that much time learning about. Uh, there have been a couple 2-year degrees I've looked at leading into, again, suggested by people I know who have done fairly well for themselves by pursuing those, and relatively low initial costs to start up, and well paying as long as you keep at it.
Right.
So those interest me. I think that could align more with what I want out of life, but I've yet to make a conclusive decision. I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to
Right.
set myself down a path that I can't work back from or
Right.
start
Yeah, I
at the
mean,
beginning again from.
yeah, it's always scary trying to
For sure.
figure it out and make the first kind of jump and then jump around the trampoline.
Yeah.
Once you think you're on the right one, you got to be able to potentially jump to a different one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
So something that offers a little bit of diversity in career too. If I have a degree in one thing, I don't want that to lock me down to one job for the rest of my life. I want to be able to potentially move around to different fields
right.
should I choose to.
So, just kind of taking it back. This is just to close off the kind of life story section. But take me through a day of your life as if you were 10 years old on summer break. What would that look
Oh,
like?
a lot better than my summer break now if I had one. Uh, 10 years old, wow. I mean, like I said, I grew up on a block with not many kids, so I mean, I would ride my bike around everywhere I could. Uh, Being a young kid, I miss those days where you'd pull up to your friend's house on your bicycle, drop it on the lawn, and knock on the door to even see if he's home. Uh, and usually he was until you got there, which I loved. Uh, so I'd plenty of times, I guess. You'd wait. Okay, sorry. I guess I'm walking you through a day.
Well, you tell me whatever you want to tell me. We can.
All right. Well, I guess yeah, wake up in the morning, pretty close to sunrise. I mean, there's not much else to do. I didn't need much sleep back then, so I'd wake up pretty early. Used to hear the birds chirping back then when you'd wake up. Not so much anymore. Uh, Wake up to the birds chirping, go outside, pedal around a bit. I'd go try to find a friend to bike around with too. And then, yeah, we'd usually get up to some mischief. I got in trouble a lot growing up for biking further than I was allowed to. I was restricted to certain areas in my neighborhood, and I tended to go a little bit further than my boundaries.
Right.
And I got caught doing that a couple of times. I'd bike over to a friend's house, and then their parents would contact my parents and tell them how great of a time it was, and my parents were not aware that I was over there. And so I got grounded a little bit for that. Bike privilege is taken away every once in a while, but it was a lot of fun. I learned biking that I love, mountain biking, trail riding, going down into the river valley that I was fortunate enough to live near.
Yes.
So a lot of great experiences doing that, spending days outside until the street lights came on, until it was dark outside, and even a little bit past that, even though, again, I wasn't allowed to. But yeah,
So what I'm hearing is you were outside a lot, and
absolutely. As much as I could.
you're outside and you like to bike.
Yes, sir. I do. I love biking.
You like to pedal bike.
Pedal
But-
biking back in the day, and now I've developed an interest in the motorized variety.
Yeah?
Do. I like motorcycles. Yeah.
What got you? Just you made the switch from pedal bike to to regular bike, or what was that kind of switch like?
Oh, I wish. I mean, growing up, I remember one of the toys my parents got me. It was a little one of those roll back. You roll it back a little bit and then it shoots forward motorcycles. I had one of those and loved it. It was great while I was young. So I always had an interest in the motorcycles, but I never got to grow up around them or grow up on dirt bikes or anything.
Right.
But honestly, I just thought they were cool. I just
Yes.
thought they were super cool. That was my big inspiration, and I thought you looked cool while riding them. I wanted to look cool, so it was always a goal of mine to get a motorcycle one day. And once I had my job, I saved up a little bit of money. I decided it was finally a viable option to go buy a motorcycle,
Right.
and the crotch rocket variety
Okay.
always interested me the most. Again, thought they looked the coolest. So for my first bike with little to no experience, I went out and bought a 600cc Honda CBR. Very fast bike. Definitely not an entry level option. At least if you're not as responsible, I would say.
Right.
If you have enough self control, you can make any bike work. But I did not have that self control. So yeah, that was great. I went out. I got my friend who already had his motorcycle license to bring the bike home for me, and I after he did that, rode around a little bit, started learning the bike, discovered very quickly how fast and how powerful those things are. And I had a great time. I loved it up until a day. I thought it would be a fun time. I was meeting up with all my friends. We were watching one of the Oilers playoff games. Meeting up at a bar to go watch them, and I thought it'd be great. Again, look cool. I thought I could show off a little bit, pull up on the motorcycle, and it was overcast that day. So I checked the forecast, made sure it wasn't going to rain because I knew I wasn't ready for that.
Of course. I mean, riding a bike in the rain is pretty sketchy.
Yeah, I always saw
I've heard.
videos. I know it looked scary, so I didn't necessarily want to experience that too early on. This was about 2 weeks after buying the bike, and yeah, so I went out there, met up with some friends, and about halfway through the game, we decided to head back to one of the friends' house, finish watching the game, have a little bit of a good time with the rest of the group. And so we all went out to our vehicles respectively. And we walk outside of the bar and it's drizzling. It's a light rain. So I'm like, okay, we'll make it home. I'll go slow. I'll be safe.
Right.
Uh,
Trying to be responsible.
Absolutely. That was my initial plan. And then get on the bike. It starts raining a little bit heavier. It's not quite pouring down, but it's raining for sure. And we're going down one of the main roads in the city, Gateway Boulevard. It's a 60-kilometer-an-hour road, so I shouldn't be going too fast.
Right.
And my friend, two of my friends were driving along beside me. Gavin, you were there to experience this too.
Yes, I was one of the cars driving beside you.
Yeah, and our friend, who has all his connections, pulled out his phone and he was getting a clip of me. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you, sir. Again, trying to look cool. Thought I'd give it a little gas and go faster than I should have while I was on tape. And yeah, made a poor decision to go faster than I should have in an area I wasn't quite familiar with, especially on the bike. And I ended up laying it down right in front of a semi truck. I was swerving in and out of traffic. Laid the bike down when a turn was coming up. And all I really remember is sliding on my back across the road and then standing up And when I stood up, I found myself in a Starbucks drive-through. There was a good 40-foot gap of grass in between me and the road that I had previously been on. And my bike was beside me with a pool of oil underneath it. And I guess that's when the adrenaline started pumping. I was obviously happy to be alive, but that wasn't my first thought. So I tried to pick the bike up and start it. Tried to get out of the area because also I was not licensed to be riding said motorcycle. I had not gotten my class 6. And people who had pulled over, checking on me, making sure I was okay, asking if I wanted them to call an ambulance. I was very passionate when telling them that I did not, because I knew that
Very
would
passionate.
very passionate for sure. Because like I said, I didn't have my license, and I didn't want to deal with police coming, especially the fact that I'd had 1 or 2 drinks at the bar before we had left. Yeah, so big kerfuffle there. First of all, friends came over after they realized I crashed, made sure I was all right, and had some other friends with a pickup truck, called them, who had already gotten to the place we were planning on meeting, made them drive all the way back to come pick up the bike. We threw it into their truck, drove it back to Buddy's house, and after that, we were able to do a little bit of a damage assessment on myself that had not been done before. I thought I was pretty much okay. I mean, I was able to stand up after the crash. I was walking around, a little bit of a hobble, but I thought maybe I just bruised my leg or something. And come to find out that I had gotten very bad road rash on my forearm, my legs, my shoes that I had been wearing, because I did not have proper gear at the time, blown apart.
Right.
Barely had one of my shoes still on my foot. But somehow, again, luckily enough, little scratch on my pinky toe. No shoe, tiny scratch on my pinky toe.
Do you remember whose car you got in to get home? Because I don't.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
You were in my car?
I was lucky enough to ride in your car. Yeah.
I honestly forgot that.
Really?
Yeah, I could, until we were talking about it. I was like, I wonder who he rode with to get home. And I was like, I think it might have been me.
Yeah. No, we had to throw some of the parts in the back of your car because things had been scattered all over. Really, the main bike was in the truck, but little parts that I guess I thought would be useful, that I needed, I threw into Gavin's car, and then I had to sit on Cameron's lap there, our other friend in the passenger seat, because we did not have a back row.
Right.
So I sat on his lap, and at the same time while that was happening, I realized that I was spreading blood all over Gavin's dashboard from my ripped up leg.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, from my perspective, when you crashed, you took off down the road, and the road kind of makes a left and then a right.
Yeah.
And so you made the left, and then you were trying to cut back to the right.
Yeah.
And then you lost it, and that was right in front of a semi-truck.
Yeah.
And we couldn't see you until that semi-truck had gone, and we're like, where is he? And I was like, oh, he crashed. I knew you had crashed.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know where he is.
Where did he go?
Like, where did he go? And I was like, uh-oh. And then we saw you in the drive-thru, and we're like, all right, I guess we got to pull over. So we had to, like, pull over and then run across the road,
Yeah.
the major road to get over there.
Busy road, yeah.
And then when we got to you, you were trying to pick up the bike, and I'm looking at the engine right now. It's got a big hole in it. I could put my fist in there.
Yeah.
And then you were just running parts across the road back and forth. You're like, we got to get this thing out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't really thinking clearly after that.
No, you were a tough guy to try and calm down. That was for sure.
For sure. I believe it.
But yeah, I forgot you rode in my car.
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad you guys were there to help me with that. Yeah, no. Got back, got patched up temporarily, and I had work the next day. I had the full impression that I was gonna try to make it to work the day after that, and I was driven home by another friend that night, and woke up in the morning realizing that I could not walk. Yeah, my leg, oddly enough, not the bloody one, the other leg, I could not straighten. It was stuck at about a 45-degree angle at the knee, and hurt a lot to put any pressure on. I could not walk. So I made the decision to drive myself to the hospital in my car that I should have been driving the other day as well. And yeah, I got to the hospital, had all my road rash treated. Found out that I had partially torn ligaments in my calf, I believe. And so that leg swelled up like a balloon. It was massive and just throbbing with pain. It hurt really bad. And yeah, they just gave me some crutches, told me to, keep it up and rest. And so I was on EI disability for 2.5 months, I believe, recovering from that.
2.5 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of that was legal too, because I think I fully recovered after about a month and a half. I was out playing basketball in the
Right.
middle of the day because I didn't have work. It was summertime. I was out playing basketball. We'd go to our friend's lake and go surfing. I was doing all that fun stuff, and I still wasn't allowed back at work.
Right.
I guess, yeah, doctors had to sign off on me, and they wouldn't do it.
Right.
So, I mean, it was fun for the last half of a month that I was
Right.
off work.
Yeah, I mean, big crash like that. Have you been in any other big crashes, or is that?
Luckily, no. That's been the only automobile accident that I've been in.
And so was the bike totaled, or like, what's up with the bike now?
The bike was
Do you
pretty.
still ride?
Oh, I wish it. So that was about 2 years ago now. Was it 2 years or 3 years? I think it's coming up on 3 years ago.
That you crashed the bike?
Yeah.
I think you're wrong. That was 2024.
Oh no, you're right.
That was
It was 2024.
That was a year and a half ago.
Okay, so a year. Okay, 2 years ago. We're coming up on 2 years, and yeah. So the bike was pretty mangled. It was in bad shape. Like Gavin said, it had a big hole in the side of the engine. Couple of big issues there. The oil pan was messed up. I could get into all the mechanical stuff about it, but I'm sure that'd bore a lot of people. So, plus there's too much. We'd be here for a long time.
Well, what are the big things? Did you sell the bike? Did you fix it? Are you riding it now? What's up with the bike?
So I made the decision that I was gonna try to repair the bike. I remember after crashing it that same summer, I went out, got enough parts to patch up the big hole in the engine, fill it back up with fluids, and then I just tried turning it on. Found out that it ran, and after that, I decided it was worthwhile trying to fix it up and get back on the bike. And so, over the course of that summer, I bought a lot of parts, put some on, realized that it was going to take a lot more than I thought to actually get it back to where it should be.
Right.
And so it's been a year and a half since the crash, a little more, and I've been repairing it slowly. Not nearly as much as I haven't dedicated as much time as I'd like to.
Right.
But hopefully this summer here, hopefully coming up, it'll be fully repaired. I've put a lot of money into it, a lot of parts.
Right. I'm sure. Can't be cheap.
No, it's more expensive than I thought, but I mean, still cheaper than going out and buying another bike. So, not the worst decision, I don't think. But I haven't had the opportunity to ride another bike since. And once it's fixed, I'd like to get back on it. I'm really passionate about the motorcycles. I love them. I'm just thinking that after I fix it, maybe I should downsize a bit and go to a more handleable realistic option, something to learn on.
Right. And that would be like a 400. Like what? How does that work?
Yeah, with the engine sizes with motorcycles, they differ, right? You could get a sport bike that's 600 cc engine size, or you could get a Harley Davidson that's 1800 cc's.
Okay.
The size doesn't necessarily translate to power, but it's more the configuration and how the engineers decide to make that bike and what it's being made for. So instead of going and getting another crotch rocket that's built for speed and track riding, I might decide to just get a cruiser bike, something to go around the city with, learn the basics of being on a motorcycle, and figure out how to ride before I go to another high powered speed rocket there. But I'd like to get back to it at some point. They are great.
So what bike would you plan on getting then? Like if it doesn't, why not get a 1800 cc Harley?
Oh, well, it all depends on the person. I mean, my opinion, typically the Harley Davidson bikes, real loud, super slow. Uh, I'll leave those to the 60-year-old men,
Okay.
people who are done with the thrill seeking.
Okay.
And I'd like to get a Yamaha MT-07. They're
Okay.
called naked bikes. It just means they have less coverings on them.
Mhm.
It's more frame, engine, necessary components.
Right.
And they're a lot slower. They're not built for those high-end speeds. You're not going 300, 250 kilometers an hour on them.
Right.
But they're still fun. I have a friend who has one of those bikes, and he has a good time on it. Has not crashed yet, so I'm thinking I might try to take a page out of his book and
Okay.
maybe follow along with that. Yeah.
Okay. So just before we started talking about the bikes, and when I asked you about, what it was like when you were 10 years old,
Absolutely.
summertime, you said the birds chirp in the morning,
Yeah.
but now they don't.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh, well, I mean,
What do you mean by that?
I'm not sure about the actual science of it. I mean, literally, I remember being young and you'd wake up and there were birds chirping outside, and maybe it's also the fact that I've moved from that quiet neighborhood I used to be in, but I think a lot's changed in the last 10 or so years since we've been young. Um, as to why that is, pollution or any other range of issues, I'm really not sure, but also I think it could be just the childhood innocence of it. Maybe
Right.
it's something that we don't look for anymore as we get older. It's something we don't appreciate nearly as much.
Right.
We're all caught up in our lives and taking the time to just notice the birds chirping.
Right.
It's maybe not something we do as much anymore, which
Yeah.
I'd like to change.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're exactly right. I think that, all those mundane things don't get appreciated enough anymore in my life either. And I think that's, if I was able to appreciate them more, there might be more happiness or something to be found in that space.
Abs-
Yeah, like I think you got to listen for those birds.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people miss out on that nowadays. Everyone's caught up in their lives, the stress of it, all the issues that they have to deal with, which everyone has plenty of issues. But every once in a while, I think people really do. They just need to calm down, go outside, watch a sunset, listen to the wildlife out there, listen to crickets chirp or birds flying around chirping.
Right.
Calm down your life a bit and learn to enjoy what's in front of you.
Right.
Don't always be worrying about the past or the future. Just try to live in the present as much as you can.
Yes. You also said you like to go out to the lake and go surfing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's up with the lake? What's up with the surfing? What is that like?
Oh well, I mean, again, I never grew up with that stuff on hand. I didn't have any lake lots or know any people with boats. I didn't have a boat of my own for surfing at least. And yeah, I in high school was lucky to meet someone that had those available to him, and I guess for some reason he liked me enough to invite me out there. And yeah, I get to go surfing there. It's an absolute blast. I love it. Anything board sport related, I think is so fun. And especially out in the summertime, getting to be out on the lake, it's peaceful when you look for those qualities about it, but at the same time, if you're out there surfing with your friends, it's incredibly fun. I mean, you get to be out there with the people you love, the people you have fun with. You get to do something that's fun.
Right.
Uh, and yeah, it's a great time. It's snowboarding that I don't get to do in the winter.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
I mean, it's expensive now. I mean, I was looking at prices to go even to Jasper, and it was $120 or 115, I think, is what it
yeah,
was,
absolutely.
just for a day, and that's a lot of money for like an 8 hour ski day.
Yeah, that and driving out there. Normally, people spend close to $100 in gas, so
Yeah.
it's an expensive hobby to pick up. But I mean, I thoroughly enjoy snowboarding. I think it's fantastic. Whether someone skis or snowboards, I think it's amazing. The mountains are a fantastic place to be, whether you're there in the summertime or the winter.
Right.
Getting to do snowboarding, it's a privilege. I love getting to go out there and experience that stuff. It's fun, peaceful. And same thing with the surfing. You get to have a good time doing something you love with your friends, and if you choose to look for the more calming qualities of it, they're out there as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love to go skiing or snowboarding, especially if you grew up in um, Western Canada? I think that's just, part of life.
a big part of growing up, yeah.
Um, so you told us about a day like when you were 10 in the summer and how you would go out and bike, and you said it looks a lot different than now. What would a day in your life look like now?
Oh, well, now, I mean, I'll think about an average day if I'm working. Uh, I'd wake up, go to work, and honestly just try to make it through the day. Most of the time, there's not much to look forward to. It's pretty sad, but you're just trying to keep the work going and make a couple jokes with the guys until it's time to go home. And hopefully, there's something you have planned after work. Otherwise, it's laying down on the couch and probably watching movies until it's time to go to sleep.
What time would like work start for you? Like, are we like nine to five, or
It's normally about a 6 a.m. wake up. You'd
okay?
get up at about 6 a.m., pack your lunch, get your things ready, walk out the door, clock in at 7 a.m. normally for work. And I personally work 10-hour days. I do
Okay.
an interesting shift that's, not average. Uh, I'll work 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts. Um, 2 weeks in a row, I'll work Monday to Thursday, and then 2 weeks in a row, I'll work Wednesday to Saturday. So every once in a while, I get a 5-day weekend, which
Ooh.
is amazing. I love getting those 5-day weekends, but uh, once a month, I also get a 1-day weekend. So
Ooh.
a lot less time to recover and do things you need to do, whether that be laundry or shop for groceries, hang out with people.
Right.
But I think it's worth it. I don't mind the shift that I work. Sometimes I have to give up doing things on a Saturday because I have to work, but other times I have Friday through Tuesday
Right.
to do whatever I need to do.
Yeah. And you have, start of the week where nobody else is out doing those things.
Absolutely. Those are the perfect days to get chores done.
Yes.
Any errands I have to run.
Why don't we take a break for
Yeah.
right now, and then we'll come back to it.
Sounds good.
All right. Let's take a break. All right. Back from the break. It was a quick one, but
Back at it.
just quickly not quickly wrap up, but we're going to try to make our way towards the end here. So going through the trades, what do you think the trades have taught you about yourself that you wouldn't have learned in other places?
Honestly, a lot. I mean, it's surprising, but, well, this part isn't surprising, but work ethic. You learn a lot about that. People in the
Do
trades.
you want to move this way? Sorry. Just to get you
Absolutely.
on camera. Just a little bit. There you go.
So yeah, people in the trades, they don't take kindly to slackers, who don't want to work, don't want to do their share. So I've learned a lot in terms of work ethic. If you want to make it, you want people to respect you, you have to work hard.
Right.
And not take things too lightly. And that's been good. I've also just learned that you got to be pretty thick-skinned in the trades. People will they'll crack jokes about you all the time. They'll test you, see how much you can take. And honestly, you just have to be willing to throw it back at them. They're pretty relentless, but if you take it and throw it back, they like you. They'll accept you pretty easily.
What do you think? What is the hardest part of it been so far? Like getting to where you are, getting
Hardest
to be able to go
part?
to Europe and all that. Like, what do you think the hardest part of all that is?
Honestly, just the repetitiveness, I'd say. I'm someone who I like having new experiences and switching things up in my life once in a while. And it's been difficult, honestly, having a job at a young age, right out of high school, every day going there doing the same things and coming home doing mostly the same things. I really look forward to those days where I get to go hang out with my friends and maybe we're trying out a new bar or we're going to go ride on Lime scooters or do something
Right.
fun that it's not an average part of my day, something to look forward to. So yeah, the hardest part, just the repetitiveness. It gets very, very boring after a while, doing the same thing over and over again.
For sure. That's probably one of my least favorite things is the repetitiveness of lots of things.
Absolutely.
So I hear you on that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or sorry, where do you see yourself in 3 years?
3 years. Okay. That's honestly difficult. I mean, it greatly depends on what route I end up taking, whether I end up going back to school or finishing up my apprenticeship and getting my ticket. But honestly, I mean, as of right now, I think a big goal for me is I think I might finish my ticket and hopefully save up enough money to travel for as long as I can.
Okay.
I'm young. I think now is the time to test myself and see how long I can make it out there on a small amount of funds.
I can tell you I'll be putting that to the test in Europe,
Oh yeah,
and I'm excited for it.
it'll be good. I think that's another important experience people need. You need to know what it's like to be a little bit uncomfortable being in a new place where you don't know anyone, you don't know anything, and I think it'll shape you.
Right.
It'll test your character, but if you come out on the other end, it'll be worthwhile.
All right. So in 3 years, you see yourself finishing your ticket and
Yeah.
then traveling.
Hopefully traveling. Hopefully being in another part of the world.
What about 10 years?
10 years. It's very difficult because I honestly don't know where I want to go with my life. But let's see. I'm 21 years old. In 10 years, I'll be 31. I'd love to. I'd love to see myself starting a family.
Right.
Hopefully, I could find myself a nice lady to settle down with and have 2 or 3 kids with.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Or however many she wants.
Absolutely, whatever she likes. Uh, at least 2 though. At least
That's
2.
your minimum is 2?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't want to have a single child. They get spoiled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And I also think it's important for them to have a sibling. I think that's huge growing up. But yeah, I'd love to be a family man. I'd love to
Right.
have my own house, some land where I could raise them and do certain things. I want my kid on a dirt bike, boy or girl. I'm putting them on a dirt bike at a young age.
You don't want them to have the same inexperienced
No,
crash that you have?
no. If they crash on something small at a young age and they learn plenty of times how to control those things. If they choose to pursue that in the future, they'll know what they're doing a lot better than me.
I like it. What would you tell somebody who's just starting out on your path, becoming a heavy duty mechanic? What would your advice be to them?
My advice to someone starting in my trade, it'd probably be just be willing to learn. I find that a lot of people starting out, they don't like to be bossed around, and I don't either. I get it, but when you're starting out with something like that, you're not in school. You're working out in the field on things that do matter. You're starting a job with no experience and working on things that affect people who this is their life, this is their career. So I'd say take the time to be quiet, listen to what they have to offer you, and apply yourself. Try to do the best work you can. Where you do the best work you can where you can.
Right.
It does matter. It affects other people's lives. It may not affect yours. You may not be passionate about it or care about it, but while you're there, do the best you can.
Right. I like that. And then just a couple more questions for you, Luke.
Absolutely.
So we're on the Go Beyond podcast.
Right.
What do those words mean to you? Go beyond.
Go beyond. Well, I'll give you my interpretation. I would say that I find a lot of people in life, nowadays especially, uh, like me, everyone feels like there's one path they should take in life. And there's, one way to do things. Everyone's got to get that 9 to 5 and do the same thing as everyone else.
Right.
I think go beyond. Everyone's different, and you have to find out what your passions are.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents may tell you one thing and what they expect of you. Don't necessarily follow that exactly.
Right.
I would go beyond expectations. Try to be the best person you can be. Don't settle for a life of mediocrity.
Right.
Try to be the best person you can be in any field that you want to pursue. Whether that's in terms of work or relationships with people, always try to be kind. People out there are going to be mean. They're going to be rude to you. I get road rage. I get mad all the time. But at the end of the day, try to be the nicest person you can. It only affects you positively.
Right.
Yeah, that would be my my best interpretation of go beyond.
I like it. I like that interpretation. Is there anything you think you'd want to talk about that we didn't talk about? Is there anything you think we missed? Didn't you want to talk about more?
Not really. Other than just what I touched on at the end there, I'd say people are going to have their expectations of you. As much as you may want to appease people and make them happy, your life is yours. So be the best person you could be. Do the things that make you happy, and live the best life you can. We're only here for a short while, so enjoy it while you can.
I 100% agree. With that, I think we're gonna call it an end here. It's great having you on, Luke.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
It was a pleasure to have you on as the first guest. I think you'll be back for many more episodes.
I hope so.
I look forward to those. For now,
Me as well.
We'll see you later, Luke.
See you later.
Thank you for supporting the Go Beyond podcast. There will be a new episode every week on Tuesday. See you next time.